The Left is Collapsing by Sydney Watson.
A man trampled the memorial for Charlie Kirk at the Turning Point headquarters in Phoenix.
The pronouns was, were.
That it is not wrong or unethical or unkind to laugh at the misfortunes of terrible people.
He's dead, y'all. Thank God.
Peace, Charlie Kirk, you piece of
So happy that most, if not all of these people all got their jobs, they got fired from their jobs, or this lady specifically in this clip here, she got, expelled from her college. Whoops. Hate to, I don't ruin people's lives for nothing, but you're gonna, mock the assassination of a political figure, then yeah, I think your side is pretty bad and you deserve to be eliminated from your position at work or, removed from your college because you are, just not a safe individual to be around. If you're willing to mock someone like Charlie Kirk, who was a moderate individual, who is a kind one, the one who sat down and spoke, what would you do to me, who's also sitting down to speak again? Would you want to shoot me too? Would you want to put a bullet in my neck as well? I hope not.
Homie dead. Homie dead. He got shot in the head.
You support a shooter?
Yep, sure do.
Honor the slain CEO of Turning Point USA. But late Saturday night, vandals lit the display on fire.
New analysis showing Democrats are losing millions of registered voters across our country, while Republicans have a net gain.
Major swings coming through with that. There's a massive switch in the political spectrum right now.
I'm done with the Democratic Party. You guys are psychotic.
What's wrong with you? I mean, what is wrong with you? That you can celebrate someone's death.
It's almost like being radical nutjob people is not a winning position.
Not at all. Not a winning position in any regard.
Hi, my name is Sydney. Welcome back to hell. Just a quick reminder that if you like tea and you like discounts, I am running a 50% off on 3 flavors of mine that will be expiring at the end of November. So use code WeDon'tWaste for 50% off those flavors. And also my winter flavors that you guys loved last year are back in stock. They are on the website. And that's all. So I have made several videos over the last number of months explaining how various extremely progressive movements have fallen in a heap or are on the decline. The trans movement, the LGBT movement with the Q plus squiggly do if you're in Canada.
Yeah. Alright, I just took a second here to look up a little graph for the past 90 days, but actually I'm going to change the graph to the past year. Right here, the Google Trends graph for the chart of, let me move my photo, my picture. Yeah, the Google Trends graph here for the interest in these specific search terms over time. These ones are Republican, Democrat, Independent, which, holy crap, Democrat is at its all-time, is not like the all-time low searching amount, but they are lower by a good amount than the other two. Like, I threw Independent on there just for fun, expecting it to sit between them or beneath, but it's actually the highest rated one because those on the left have fought so hard and pushed so much that you've pushed all your voters away from you. Look at this. These graphs here are proof of that. At the current rate, Democrats will never win another election again. The country will be just a Republican nation where the two-party system may even be fully abolished.
Because apparently they include, what, Two-Spirit? Is that it? Two-Spirit?
US LGBTQI+.
Gender ideology, people looking like absolute freaks all of the time. But what I think has become clear, particularly over the last number of weeks, but this has probably been happening for months, is that the left's stranglehold, this grip that it has had on institutions, on organizations, on movements, on politicians, and so on and so forth, is coming to a very unceremonious end. And they have more or less brought it on themselves. Are you surprised? Probably not really. This is
100% become brought on themselves. They have done nothing to mitigate the loss of people. In fact, they just keep doubling down, tripling down, quadrupling down on the same issues that are causing them to lose voters, lose people who support them. Like, even people who were independent, leaning left, are now like independent, but they're going to vote Republican just so they can fight the evil on the left. Because that is what it is nowadays. It is no longer Republican versus Democrat, liberal versus conservative and whatnot. It is good versus evil. And the good is the conservative Republican group, the ones who ask you to come sit down, have a chat, enter the country in the proper manner, follow our laws. You know, the things that are rational, insane. It's like, we're not asking you to accept our specific rules that we're going to force upon you. No, you did that with COVID. You did that with LGBTQ alphabet. Like, that was your fault. Now, this is the slapback. You pulled a rubber band. Now we're letting it go.
Going to be shocking to a lot of progressives, but it turns out your average person just wants to be left alone. We're also incredibly put off by people celebrating murder, so there's that too. Since Charlie Kirk was assassinated, the response from many people who identify as being on the left has been nothing short of disgusting.
They celebrate, they deface memorials, they burn them, they break them, after so many people who are showing their love and support for Charlie Kirk, to his family, to his widow, to his children, they showing that they respected him. And when you go and do this stuff, it just shows who your true character is.
Painting over memorials, kicking over memorials, fighting mourners, protesting his official memorial in Arizona, celebrating loudly and proudly online, even calling for more violence and saying that this is only the beginning. I hate it here.
One of the ways I am surviving this political moment is making lists of who I'm gonna celebrate when they...
This person needs to lose their job. I wouldn't feel safe working in the same environment as them. They need an OSHA claim made right against them. And this is assuming they have a job. Because I know a bunch of these progressive liberals, they don't believe in work. They are on that NEET, the not in any education, employment, or training. They are not doing anything. They are leeches on society. And yeah, they would deserve everything that comes to them.
Historically, people have celebrated when their oppressor.
Do you support his death?
I do.
You support his death?
Fuck Charlie Kirk.
You support Charlie Kirk being killed?
Yes, I do.
On the day he died, you're here at a vigil for Charlie Kirk and you support his death.
Do you support a Nazi?
No, I don't support a Nazi. Charlie Kirk wasn't a Nazi.
You know, at this point, anybody we disagree with on the right, we'll just start calling them pedophiles. How about that? They call us Nazis, so we'll one-up them. They're all pedophiles. Everyone I disagree with is now a pedophile. Everyone that doesn't like me is a pedophile. There. How about that? Is that the same effect? Because in my eyes, that one's way worse. In my eyes, if you are a true pedophile, you deserve the wood chipper. You deserve to be put in there feet first so we can hear your screams. And then we'll play them for each and every other person who chooses to become a pedophile before they are eventually put in the wood chipper behind you.
You support a shooter?
Yep, sure do.
So Michael and his family created a memorial along their fence to honor the slain CEO of Turning Point USA. But late Saturday night, vandals lit the display on fire.
When they burnt that fence, that fire could have went into that house and it could have really harmed somebody.
The vandals also broke the back window of the family's SUV.
People have mocked Charlie's widow, Erica Kirk.
He was my husband. And I loved him. And he loved me almost as much as he loved America. And I want to thank all of the brave, heroic first responders who responded heroically.
I'm not gonna lie, I think I have a pretty good sense of humor. I can see the jokes in most things, but you...
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I have a good sense of humor. I'm enjoying the current season of South Park that is doing its hardest to take every little cheap shot and shit on the current administration and Trump. If I went through, I'll probably do this. I'll probably go back through and count up and get a list of every single thing they're jabbing at the current administration for. And I think every joke there is funny. They spoofed Charlie Kirk. They had put him at his table at his college campus like he does. And they, the second he sets his water down, he's picking up a mic to wreck someone. And it's like, yeah, that was Charlie. He was incessantly hydrated. He was always had his water. He always had the mic there. And, there are some people who even insulted his looks, so that when that one person in the episode came up and insulted him, why is your hair like that? And it's, it was like, yeah, of course they would have someone in there like that. They make jokes about Trump in South Park for having a small dick. Like, does he have one? Maybe, I don't know. Do I want to see it? No, that's not a fact anyone needs proven or anything, or proven true or false in any regard. It's not our business. It's between him and his wife. And then, there's the joke of him being with, in a relationship in there with Satan. He's fucking Satan / fucking Satan. Like, yeah, there's the double entendre meaning there. And yeah, there's so many jokes that they've thrown in. They, have spoofed J.D. Vance and made him this little tiny gremlin that every time he's on screen, I can't help but laugh. He is probably my favorite character they've made for, like, spoofing the administration. It is wonderful. Like, that's a good sense of humor. That's taking jokes. Not, the serious manner of, hey, that dude got shot in the neck. Let's put it on a t-shirt with the blood spilling out and sell it for profit. That's super capitalistic of you, by the way.
You kind of have to be a giant piece of shit to do something like this. Oh, why does everybody want to leave the left? I don't know, maybe because you guys act demonic on the internet for...
Why does everybody want to leave the left? I don't know, maybe because you guys are all giant pieces of shit.
Snaps and clicks. They have called for his children to be murdered too, or said that they...
Yeah, and anybody who's calling for his children to be murdered simply because they have his DNA in them, fuck you, you're calling for the death of a literal 1-year-old. Because that is the age of his youngest child. And the other age of his child is a 3-year-old. So you're calling for the death of 1-year-old and 3-year-olds. But what am I to do when this is the same party that would abort their babies in the womb?
You don't feel bad that his kids will
just
grow
because.
Up without a dad?
Hey, so Charlie Kirk just got shot. Maybe there are good guys with guns out there.
Update. Charlie Kirk is officially looking up at us, and I'm about to head to the grocery store because I'm making ribs tonight. Oh, but he was a man with a wife and kids. Yeah, and now they're safe from him.
The thing that absolutely sends me to Jupiter about these kind of people is that this guy delivering this last line, he's doing it like this because he wants all the people on the internet to show up and clap for him, to say that they agree, and he did such a good job articulating himself in his car. I don't know.
Yeah. And that dude there where he's like, and now his kids are safe from him. His kids loved him. His daughter, his 3-year-old daughter, almost every day before he would go into work and do his show, she would, at the door, give him some kind of gift. And usually it was one of her toys. And half the time, a lot of the times actually, Charlie would have those gifts that his daughter gave him, and he'd set him on his desk in front of him while he was doing his show, because his daughter would sit and watch the show, and because she was happy to see Daddy speak. And it's such a sweet moment that those toys are now permanently sitting in his seat, at his empty seat, with all the gifts that he was given as well at the end, the things that he has very much been deserving of. But yeah, he did not deserve to be killed. His kids don't deserve to grow up without a father. He preached so heavily about the importance of having a father in the home, and now his kids don't have one.
I know how to explain this, and it could just be a Sydney thing, and I'm okay if it is, but I really find men, in particular, celebrating the death of fathers to be deeply non-masculine behavior. Because what do you...
Yeah, that's bitch shit if you're a man celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. That's bitch shit, and I hope you never have kids of your own, because that way you'll never get to experience how good of a feeling that is. I don't have kids, but I have a niece who... She's as close to that as I am right now, and she is amazing. I wouldn't want anything to ever happen to her, harm her, in any way, shape, or form.
What do you mean? Like, why would you be happy about this? It is uniquely psychotic to want kids to be fatherless. Like, that's so bizarre. Nothing should be able to shock me these days, given all the things I've seen, but I'm still shocked.
Yeah, I agree to that one. It's so shocking to see people celebrate this much publicly on the internet, where anyone can clip that, steal that, and, play this to your boss. Imagine celebrating this in front of your workplace, in front of your family's Thanksgiving, and, go out and just do it in front of all your neighbors. Would you still continue to celebrate? Would you go celebrate it at a Turning Point USA event right outside the front? Maybe one of them will talk to you and you'll realize, oh crap, I'm wrong.
These people are icky. But you know what's also a little icky?
Icky is too nice of a word for these people.
Having a bad smoke-related habit in 2025, which is why today is a journey pack.
No more fume.
And really...
I'm ashamed of anybody who's using a fume sponsor. You're basically inhaling essential oils.
This was only the beginning, because in the midst of all of this, a man shot up an ABC-affiliated news station in Sacramento, California, angry about the Trump administration and Jimmy
Side note to the story here, but these two female cops on the end, or at least I think they're both female cops. I can't tell with the one not facing our direction, but the larger of the two, I don't think she should be a cop, specifically because if she needs to run after a suspect, I think I could get away from her with a light jog. And I have a somewhat healed up leg from it being a broken femur earlier this year, and I could probably still escape her. Like, she ain't stopping nobody. Except maybe the donut man.
Kimmel being pulled off air. Another man angry about deportations and, in his own words, wanting to terrorize ICE agents, shot up an ICE facility in Dallas, although he only managed to exclusively hit illegals instead. Similarly to other...
Rest in peace to all the illegals who passed away, and prayers for any ICE agents who are a little more afraid in their day-to-day life. Hopefully you can make it each day and go home to your own families.
Recent domestic terrorists, he also wrote far-left messages on his bullets. The Atlantic released findings in late September 2025 that said not only is left-wing terrorism on the rise, but for the first time in a long time, it far outweighs attacks from the right.
Well, that's because they don't include the BLM riots of 2020 as attacks from the left. If they included those, that year would have been the first time in 30 years. But, this year they are posed to far exceed the amount of attacks.
But this obviously hasn't stopped politicians, talking heads, and celebrities turning up and saying that Charlie's death was justified or not an issue.
I am not going to sit here and
remove her from Congress. She married her brother and cheated immigration. She has committed crimes against our country, and she deserves to have her citizenship revoked and to be sent back home. She already is not America first in any way, shape, or form. She is for her home country of Somalia, not America.
Judged for not wanting to honor any legacy this man has left behind. That should be.
And to the people who are like, oh, I shouldn't be forced to mourn for Charlie Kirk. I hated everything he stands for. We're not asking that. We're just saying, shut the hell up. Don't speak on it. If you don't have something nice to say, don't talk about it. Just make a little quick post on Twitter or something. And if anyone asks, you can refer him to that. make a little tiny couple sentences, and then make that be it.
Be in the dustbin of history, and we should hopefully move on and forget the hate that he spewed every single day.
Yeah, Charlie Kirk got shot, and he's RIP. Whatever you want RIP to stand for. Some people will say it's not peace, so fill in the blanks, people. Fill in the blanks.
Yes, this is an Australian politician. No, I don't know how she got elected, and she thinks she's being cute here by alluding to the term rest in piss. There's nothing I can say to this because everything I want to say is hate speech. Anyway, I guess
Yeah, I've seen a lot of that too. And after everything, yeah, I understand the anger. I'm still angry. Excuse me. I'm still angry about the situation. But with the anger, it's like, where do I put it? Do I put it in, going after the left? I don't think violently or physically or anything like that, but I'll go after them with my words. I'll take my voice and I will yell at them from across the way. I will do everything I can to talk to them, talk them down, and hopefully quell some of the violence in the country. However, I don't think any leftist will listen at this point. They are so stuck in their echo chambers that whenever they hear something that, isn't those echoes, and it's, a shred of truth, they think it's false because it's not what they've been hearing. I haven't heard that one yet. Well, yeah, you haven't heard that because you haven't looked for it. You haven't done anything to get that far.
This new level of insanity and depravity shifted something in a bunch of people. I think for most of us who already existed somewhere on the right, this has strengthened our relationship to our existing ideals and brought a lot of us closer together. It has reinvigorated some people to get in touch with their religious roots, but I think by and large, it has really brought forward a solidarity between like-minded people. But I think for a bunch of people on the left, it has shown them that there is no reconciling with the terrorist movement that progressivism has become. And it's either shown them that and pushed them over the edge completely, or they are starting to realize what their side looks like. It has shown that their side, quote unquote, has some serious issues with violence, and they simply cannot and do not align with those around them or the people in their circles any longer. And honestly, I do not blame them whatsoever for feeling this way. If you hop over to TikTok, and ordinarily I would never tell you
yeah, we don't go there. I don't even have TikTok on my phone. I've never created a TikTok account. I always saw it as owned by the Chinese government entity, and I would rather not willingly give the Chinese Communist Party my data, like everyone else seems to.
You feel like Mufasa being like, you must never go there. But in this case, I think it could be instrumental and useful because if you do go and look on TikTok, you will see that there are a bunch of people who call themselves liberal or leftist making videos discussing how disgusted and saddened they are by the left's reaction in particular to Charlie Kirk's murder.
My God. I've been a Democrat all my life. All my family been a Democrat all their life. And this BS shit with Charlie Kirk and everybody acting stupid and don't care about this man's life and his family life, I'm done with you motherfuckers.
This Charlie Kirk thing kind of put the nail in the coffin of me being a Democrat. I was slowly moving away from it anyway because I was noticing certain things, but I know I'm not a Democrat. And I'm not a Republican either, but I'm not a Democrat. And I just noticed, certain things, like the way that the conversation would be shut down by calling somebody a name or calling somebody a bigot. It's like, okay, and why am I a bigot just because I disagree with you? Like, I can disagree with you and still not want anything bad for you. I started to see how, it's one thing to...
That's all we're asking. We're asking you you don't necessarily need to mourn with us and be sad with us, especially if you don't feel any of that. Just don't, send the hate over. Don't send the threats and the violence over. Leave that alone. You can be peaceful. We can coexist together with a two-party system. However, if you don't change your tunes, there won't be a two-party system because the Democrat Party will have eaten itself alive after it shot itself in the leg and then in the foot and then asked for help because it got shot. But no one's helping because they've watched it shoot themselves.
believe in something, it's another thing to tell somebody they're bad if they don't, especially if the view is wacky, crazy, and all the way out there.
It really sucks that it took this tragedy for me to get to this point. But because of this tragedy, I'm starting to see the Democrats' true colors. And I was already pretty over it. Their behavior is extremely immature. It's really hateful. And I just wasn't seeing how that was productive in any way. Change doesn't happen in an echo chamber, so I don't know how they expect anything to change if they're yelling and screaming at people. Yet they're a party that wants all of this change. But if they can't communicate with anybody, then...
As a registered Democrat, all I have to say is the Charlie Kirk shooting just proves that we are the worst, man. My party is worse. I got people celebrating, hoping that he dies. Where's the empathy? Where's the respect, man? It's disgusting.
Many of the
I am going to pause her there for a half sec just to give mine. I used to be closer to the Democrat left than the conservative right. But it was back in the... somewhere between 2020 and 2024 when I was on a major shift where I started switching over and having realizations and truths here. And yeah, it was one of those where I had my realization. I didn't vote Trump in 2020. I didn't vote him in 2016. But no, I didn't vote Hillary in 16, and I definitely didn't vote fucking Biden in 20. And both of those, I voted third-party independent. I voted Libertarian for both times. Because that's where I would rather have. However, in this election, because of everything the Democrats did, they literally chose a candidate and shoved her in front of us. They found a camera and they're like, here's your candidate, everybody. Her name is Kamala Harris. And everybody's like, oh, you mean the VP? Yeah. Why'd you pick her? So she can keep all the donated money that was supposed to go to Biden when we thought we could run his corpse for 4 more years. Oh, wait. You mean there's something wrong with Biden? No, shut up. We didn't say that. Back to Kamala. Back to Harris. Yeah. She's black. She's going to be the first black woman president. She's going to check all these DEI boxes, box after box after box. You'll love her. And I looked over and saw that, and I was like, that's authoritarianism. They literally just picked a candidate, threw him in front of us, and said, hey, you're going to vote for this candidate on our side, or you can vote for Trump on that side. So I saw that as a major threat, and I was like, well, the Democrat Party obviously doesn't believe in democracy anymore, so they are the authoritarian party, and yet they're the one calling Trump voters and supporters Nazis and fascists. And it's like, this is complete opposite. They are projecting so heavily what they fear that they became what they feared.
People discussing this recently have said that they feel utterly disgusted by the left's overall response to Charlie's death, finding it completely contrary to their own values. And this isn't only the people making the videos, countless people are in the comments expressing similar ideas and sentiments. Even big left-wing figures like Dean Withers and Ethan...
Yeah, Dean Withers, I believe he was saying that he was... Or no, that was the other one who went and debated Charlie. It was Parker. Parker was actually at Utah Valley University when Charlie got shot. He was, in a short line next to debate him. And he heard the shot ring out and he just started running. He heard that Charlie got shot and hadn't heard his condition, but he's like, I hope he's okay. And everything, even though if you had seen the footage, you knew he wasn't okay. He was gone immediately. He could have been shot in the emergency room, and he still wouldn't have made it. But yeah, Parker and Dean both expressed major, oh my God, I can't believe he's gone, because both of them spent ample hours chasing him around, going to several of his events, not in a malicious way, in a way that they wanted just to have their own extra minutes in the spotlight and debate him over and over again. And Dean, I know he was so broken up, he was crying about it on camera and everything, and then his followers started eating him alive. That showed him who the party he was supporting all these years really was. That opened his eyes up, and I believe he's not conservative now, but he definitely doesn't want to associate with the Democrat Party anymore. There are some people over there who will just support it until their own deaths, but when the Democrat Party is choosing violence and hate as the hills they're going to die on, along with illegal immigration, like, those aren't hills you want to die on. Those are hills that I'll have a battleship wipe out and there won't be a hill anymore.
Nathan Klein became extremely emotional upon finding out that Charlie had passed, and actually Dean had to walk back his crying because people called him out for it, because that's normal. I mean, at some point you really do have to look at your audience.
Yeah, imagine your own audience calling you out because you had emotion.
And figure out what the hell you've cultivated if the people who are following you are checking you because you're having a human natural emotional response to a father and a guy being murdered in front of thousands of people because he was having conversations. Being held hostage by people in this way is not a good thing. This is why our relationship works so well, because I am the mama bird here and I do the vomiting into your little baby bird mouths, and then you guys are like, Sydney, stop being weird. And I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. Even
Sydney, what was that?
Jeffree Star, of all people, and some of you in my audience won't know who this is, but he is very, very big in the makeup space. He spoke to his enormous audience recently and called out the left's absolute insanity, going after the they-thems and those celebrating Charlie's murder.
Okay, this is a grown man who fought for the truth, who went all around our country debating people of all walks of life, walks of religion, walks of sexuality. He debated everybody. And if you're in here saying it wasn't the truth, you are a they-them loser, okay? You are one of those people who doesn't want to live in reality. You want to live in your weird little brain up here.
Lots of these.
The little brain up there is called Delusion Land. Delusion Land is where all the lefties went, because they all gave themselves such happy delusions of what they wish life could be like. And like everybody, we all wish it could be a utopia where everything is perfect and nobody has to work, because things are just done for us. But that's not realistic. Realistic is we have to work. We can choose which job we do in our capitalistic society. We get to pick what we want. If we want to attempt to open a business and start our own thing, we can attempt to do that. If we want to just go work for a corporation for our whole life and just get the W-2 paycheck and the 401k that comes with it, sure, go ahead. Contribute to it, match your employer, and do whatever. Be happy. Whatever you're doing, just be happy doing it. If you're going to be miserable, fix it. Don't just sit and be miserable all the time, because then you'll never be happy.
People do maintain plenty of liberal ideas, but they have zero interest in being grouped in with Democrats or the left any longer. As one woman captioned a TikTok, "Congrats Democrats, you have turned a devout atheist Democrat into a God-fearing independent."
Hell yeah. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I love to see it.
And as another said, she's stepping out of the Democrat/Republican paradigm and really wants to pursue thinking for herself, which sounds, obvious.
Thinking for yourself? But that's not a thing Democrats were ever capable of doing. She must have gotten a lobotomy and put a actual brain in that head instead. A reverse lobotomy.
But I think this is a great way of thinking about politics and a great thing to do. And it takes a lot of courage to say that on the internet right now. But this position honestly seems to be a long time coming as far as waking up and leaving the left goes. Because once again, although there are an influx of people recently saying that they are done and the Charlie Kirk murder and everything surrounding it really changed their perspective, there are countless other people online too who've been making similar comments about the way that the left and Democrats behave for quite some time.
But honestly, if you want to know the truth, what really did it for me is realizing how freaking depressed I was when I was functioning as a liberal. Liberalism will literally make you hate yourself. It will make you hate your family. It will make you hate your friends. It will make you hate everything about the world. And I'm not.
Yeah, it's like a grooming cult for depression. And it's insane how many people voluntarily hop into that. It's like you're all there for the ability to think and do things for yourself. We are in the information age, where in this day and age, you can pull out a cell phone, type into Google whatever you want to look up. If someone says something and you're like, that doesn't sound right, you should type it in and fact check them. Fact check people on the spot. We should have more people doing that, I think. Fact checking individuals on the spot. Bringing up a source. And if they don't believe one source, go get another source and another source. Maybe get sources that tell a little bit of differing stories. But hey, whatever you can do, you get it. And even the one thing I just noticed about this girl is her shirt's a Free Palestine shirt. Like, she's got the piercing, she's got the Free Palestine shirt. Like, she's full what you would call someone on the left. But she's like, I'm not there anymore. I don't want to be associated. Those people are insane. Those people are depressed and crazy.
Saying that you should just be ignorant to everything that is going on in the world, but the way that the left chooses to internalize everything that is going on in the world is detrimental to their mental health.
It's probably worth noting, and I think it's important, that a lot of these people are not saying that they're suddenly becoming conservative. You know, that doesn't just happen overnight. But they are moving more right from the left, if that makes sense. They're becoming moderates and centrists and independents, and honestly, I think that's a good thing. I think that anything that can instruct you to think for yourself and think independently.
What would be interesting is the next major presidential election, or the one after. I'm not sure which one the Democrat Party will live through. They might live to both of them, they might only live through one more. I'm thinking it'll be about 3 to 7 years though, that by the time that next election is, they'll be such a small portion of the population as their party that it won't even matter the voter base, that it's like, oh, yeah, conservatives win, elections in a landslide at like 70-30 now. And it's like, oh, great. Now you'll never win another one again. But what if that other, 20% that left is now on the independent side? Maybe they went libertarian. Maybe they went and voted with the Green Party because they're like, all right, well, if I can't have Democrat, I might as well go for the environment. Because that is what I did, I think, in 2016, actually, if I think about it. I may have said that one for me. It's been a long time, though.
Is a good thing. Although the independent moderate thing is definitely how it starts, and soon you will join us! Also, ladies, when you realize that...
I was the opposite. I grew up in that conservative household, and then I went a little independent, leaning a little left, because I didn't want to be, the same thing as my own dad. Yeah, we're swinging back the other way.
The men on our side of the fence are actual men.
I wouldn't ever say I go full conservative Republican, but...
It's quite a nice thing to experience,
close.
Let me tell you now. No more carrying your own groceries into your house, because they will in fact try to get every single bag out of the car in one trip, and if they can't, they act as if they have failed you. Or themselves. It's really unclear which. Anyway. But I have also seen plenty say that they've gone ahead and registered Republican too for the first time in their lives. Now, what's really interesting here is that we've had other movements before that encourage people to walk away from the left and the Democratic Party, like 2018's Walk Away, for example. It encouraged Democrats to reject blind party loyalty and gain traction with viral testimonials from ex-Democrats frustrated by the party's shift towards extremism. And that was 7 years ago, before things went absolutely insane. But I do think presently something different is happening here. It feels different. And I think if we're being honest, there is a lot of horror attached to people's reactions when they talk about leaving the left. They are horrified by the things that they're seeing. And although it is awful, I am actually really glad to see how many people are realizing how soulless and unhinged the modern left has become. Look, it might have taken some of you a little while to get here, but better late than never. These are the people who will cut you off for not thinking as they do, who proudly announce this to the world.
Then I feel like if you're quiet when so many injustices are happening.
That's one person? I thought it was two.
Not just here, but Palestine, Sudan, Congo, etc. Then I literally blocked my brother yesterday. I'm not speaking to my mom, my stepmom, my dad. I'm collecting them like Pokemon.
That's the other crazy thing, is that liberalism is such a disease. It encourages you to cut off your own family. Well, if you lose all your friends, your family's what you fall back on as your safety net. If you've cut off your family and all your friends abandon you, and then you all of a sudden lose your job, you'll be homeless. And that's a hard thing to come back from. There's some people who they get homeless and then they get into a drug habit. And then they get deeper and deeper, and then they're panhandling, and then they're just getting money, going buy drugs, and barely surviving. Like, they'll eat bare essentials. They'll try to steal things to survive. And it's like, that's not how you create a functioning, positive society. You need healthy individuals who have support networks, safety nets around them that are positive influences in their lives, and they can make a positive influence in their life, and then once they're back on their feet, they'll make a secondary positive influence back.
I'm like, who can I block next?
Even Bill Maher, of all people, recently acknowledged that the modern left is categorically insane.
Bill Maher, when he did his interview with Charlie, one of my favorite parts of it was when he was sitting up there, Charlie's coming on, and Bill's, so you don't smoke? No, Charlie says. And he's saying, you don't drink either? No. Oh, we're going to get along great, is how he replied. And I was like, that's what a way to enter it. It's like, oh, Bill Maher likes to drink. He likes to smoke weed. A lot of weed. Big pothead there. Charlie, the complete other end of it. Charlie would prefer weed be banned in all across America. I'm on the side of Bill Maher, where I'm for it. I'm for it medically. I'm for it recreationally. And I think we just, pop it there, stick a little bit of a tax on it, and, have it go to funding some, things in your state. Whether your state needs roads all the time, if it's Michigan, or if, maybe you need more school funding, or etc.
The problem we have in America is conservatives think the liberals are insane, and they're not completely wrong. Now, I don't think most liberals are insane, but neither do they make it clear they disapprove of the ones who are.
I don't think all liberals are insane, but I think a significant portion of them are. Compared to conservatives, who I think maybe, if you had to give a percentage, I'd say about 5% or less of conservatives are insane, and it's probably closer to 30, maybe even 35% of liberals that are insane.
And their cowardice in not marginalizing their own crazies has been their downfall.
There are people who claim to love diversity, but have zero tolerance for diversity of thought.
So I decided to go no contact with direct family members.
See, there's another one.
Direct family members.
Let me guess, because they're MAGA guys?
People who preach love, empathy, and tolerance, but have spent 2 weeks dancing on someone's grave because he had different ideas to them. And I keep seeing this quote floating around that I think is honestly pretty accurate. The left has gone so far to the left that people have become right by standing still. And once again, I can very much see why liberals feel this way about their own side. Because when they so much as question some of the official narratives on their own side of things, when they express an opinion that slightly differs to what they're allowed to think, they are called traitors and attacked and name-called and shamed.
I guess I'm a conservative Republican now.
It's like, for a lot of people, they didn't leave the left. The left left them a long time ago. They just didn't realize that they had gone so far left that they were sitting in the middle as a moderate, although they were taking the label just because, well, they might get attacked if they don't. Now they don't care. A significant portion of the voter base that used to vote Democrat has woken up, and they're not happy. They're mad about it.
Even though I've never participated in an election in any sort and never planned on doing that, all I've done is made videos where I've criticized the left. I've criticized Democrats and the things that they do, and they're all getting in my comment sections saying that I'm a conservative, I'm a Republican, or that I'm a coon. I don't understand how that correlates at all, but if my viewpoints align with conservatives and that makes you think that I'm a conservative, I guess that's what I'll be. I never planned on voting for Republicans, but
well, how about
it seems
that?
like The Democrats want me to do that.
Progressives have been overreaching for years now, with all sorts of issues, like the trans and gender ideology movements being pushed onto children.
I don't care if you want to be bi, gay, if you're trans, just don't push it on kids. Just don't push it on kids. That's the one thing we say you shouldn't do. Let kids be kids. We don't need to protect trans kids. We need to let kids be kids.
Which is a very unpopular position among basically everyone. Men in women's sports, rising crime, illegal...
Hey, if men want to be in women's sports, just let me know so I can gamble on them first. I gotta win a lot of money off that propeller in the pool.
Immigration, all issues that people actually feel very strongly towards and largely want stopped. The left's own radicalization of the LGBTQIAXYZ community pushed plenty of gay and lesbian people out of the movement and into the open arms of moderates and the right wing.
Howdy, my name is Julie. I'm an adult human female, and I just want you to know that children do not belong at pride events.
Correct. Children do not belong at pride events because people at pride events sometimes don't dress in the most appropriate fashion, the appropriate manners. Pride events are basically you being proud of who you like to have sex with. They're not really a thing to be like, oh, I am this. It's no, I am this, and those are who I like. Like, I don't know why you would go to a pride parade if you weren't trying to get into a relationship with someone else who's at the parade. Like, there's no point here. There's no point to be had to having children there. Children don't belong there. You need to let kids be kids. Children don't belong at pride parades. They don't belong at political protests under a certain age. At a certain age, if a kid wants to, head towards getting into politics like Charlie Kirk did at a young age. He literally founded Turning Point when he was 18 years old. He was very young, and I'm sure it wasn't all of a sudden he turned 18 and was like, I'm politics guy. I bet you he was 17, 16, even 15, 14 years old, and he was still just as political as he was when he was assassinated.
I, as a lesbian and an elder gay, and I'm here to let you know from the community that it is the most perverted, disgusting event ever. It is not what it was.
It's not for kids.
Categorically insane people being the speakerheads of movements, institutions, and social issues has only further alienated people. They were recently enraged for like 2 weeks about a jeans commercial, for Christ's sake. They were mad because...
Speaking of jeans commercial, if a holy war ever breaks out between Christians on the conservative side and any other religion, we're gonna have our uniform be a red MAGA hat, a white Freedom t-shirt, and American Eagle jeans. Just remember that.
Because the woman in the jeans commercial had a German Shepherd dog. Ergo, Nazism. It's kind of weird that liberals are all so depressed because...
It wasn't just the German Shepherd, Sydney. It was the German Shepherd along with the blonde hair, blue eyes, and jeans are the same, the double entendre there.
They seem like mentally they're having a great old time. They're not even tethered to reality. That has to be so fun. So with all...
I also don't understand how so many liberals are overweight and out of shape when they're always doing mental gymnastics. It's like, does that not burn any calories?
All of this in mind, I think this is partially what culminated in Trump winning in 2024. Democrats have lost their ever-loving minds and as a result have completely abandoned everyday normal people and have instead embraced radicalism. And recently, it's only been downhill for the left and its many acolytes. Recent reporting has shown Democrats as a party are losing millions of registered voters, while Republicans have had a net gain of 4.5 million voters over the last few years. This includes Nevada flipping to a GOP majority registration for the first time in 20 years. Just recently, I saw that a highly contentious governor race in New Jersey is tied, which is super important. And if you live in New Jersey, you've got to get out and vote in November. Mark the date. Early voting starts in October if that suits you better.
So this is why you see people like Gavin Newsom, Jasmine Crockett, AOC, all being very, very desperate on social media, trying to get the support back to the Democrats. But the bottom line is, it's too late. And until the Democrat Party really just restructures and gets rid of everybody in the party and gets rid of their woke agenda and woke policies that they wanted to put into place.
If the Democrats want their voter base back, they need to go back to what the Democrat Party was about 35, 40 years ago.
This will not change.
Even a CNN senior analyst recently sounded the alarm, saying that Democrats needed to fix something, as Republicans have big leads on the issues of crime, the economy, and immigration, especially among independents who he says win the day for either side.
The GOP is more trusted than the Dems on the economy. It was 12 points in 2022. Slight decline in that lead, but still 7 points. How about immigration? It was Republicans by 3 back in 2022. Look at this. The Republican lead's actually gone up by 10 points. What are you doing, Democrats? My goodness gracious. And on crime, the Republicans were up by 13, and now they're up by 22. The lead, again, expanding by nearly double digits. So whatever Democrats are doing, it ain't working, Kate. It ain't working, Republicans.
That guy is so mad. He wants to say the Democrats are doing great, that they're gaining ground. Because I believe if you take his body language, that's probably the party he is associated with or has associated with for a while. His body language shows that he's mad that he has to present these numbers. And, you know, this is CNN, a news network that is primarily positive for Democrats.
Have the lead on all three issues.
And this isn't only a USA thing, although that should come as a surprise to none of you because weird things are happening over in Europe with a whole bunch of stuff.
Europe is screwed.
People in European countries are starting to get quite cross. Australia and Canada, on the other hand, are... Well, we were around the world, far-right parties. You guys can't see, but I'm doing the little quote marks with my fingers, because most of these parties are just normal right-wing parties, are gaining in popularity, which is freaking out the left. Recent Pew Research data shows that Forza Italia, National Rally, and Alternative for Germany, Reform UK, and Vox in Spain have all...
And if you hadn't noticed, that AfD party of Germany, they recently... had a whole bunch of their members get assassinated. It was like, I think it was like 10 or 12 of them assassinated over the course of like 2 or 3 weeks. It's insane. They are literally becoming a threat to the their opposition, that the opposition is like, we can't have this. Get rid of them. Get rid of them now, because they're so scared of losing their power majority forever that, yeah, it could happen. And it would be awesome if it did. Italy needs it, France needs it, Germany needs it, and Spain needs it. Those are the 4 big ones, and UK itself, but that one's obvious. But the other ones, it's like, those ones need it the most.
All gained in popularity in recent years and also in recent months. Now, I personally don't put a ton of stock in polling data because, you know, I think there's obvious reasons why not, but I do think that there...
I mean, if we gave any credit to polling data, Kamala would have won in a landslide, because that's what all the polls prior to the election said, was that Kamala was going to win. Kamala was going to win. If you ask me, I knew Trump was going to win from the day after he got shot. Basically, I saw it. I saw a massive shift and change in support for him. And yeah, it was an incredible outpour of support that came from it. And it won him the election, the popular vote. All the swing states, like literally these swing states, I'm curious to see if there'll still be swing states in the next election. They might completely flip and just be red states.
There has been a sentiment shift all over the place. Even talking with friends of mine who have been historically left-leaning, they're saying some sort of out-of-pocket stuff that I'm absolutely not used to from them, and I'm like, what is happening to you? I mean, I like it, but what is going on? Anyway, so the question here becomes, where does this leave us? Honestly, I am not super sure, because I am not an oracle, although I would like to be one. The Oracle of Texas. What I will say is that if you are somebody who clicked on this video and you are left-leaning and you're sort of beginning to feel disillusioned with your party and your side of the aisle, I think it's really brave to start to pull away and to embrace being an independent or a moderate or wherever you end up landing on the political spectrum. I will be the first to tell you that I think it takes a lot of courage to basically leave your tribe during such a polarizing time like the one that we live in right now. And I'll go one step further than that when it comes to finding a new tribe or where you think you fit in or whatever. As far as the right goes, and I think this has been my experience and the experience of a lot of people, you don't have to line up on every single issue to be embraced by people on the other side of the aisle.
Yeah, from my experience, people on the right are extremely welcoming. They usually have very good Christian beliefs, and they'll welcome you no matter what. Just don't threaten them. Just be, candid with people. Be polite. Be nice. You can get along and not have exact parallel beliefs.
Admittedly, I have always been somewhere on the right and have never left the left, but I do know that I don't fit into any box neatly. I have all sorts of ideas about all sorts of things that fit into all sorts of different camps, and I think that that's normal. I actually think that that is the place that most people find themselves in. And if that is you, that is okay. You do not have to check every single box. You are allowed to have your own thoughts, feelings, and ideas about whatever issue it might be, and if that means that you end up on the right side of things, on the right-wing side of things, that's pretty cool, in my opinion. But the bottom line here, in my opinion, is that the left has really launched itself into the abyss by being militant and unrelatable and actually psychotic on most issues these days. They are loud and they are prejudiced and they sit in their glass houses and they throw stones. And just when the rest of us thought that it couldn't get any worse, they decided to outdo themselves by not only supporting but celebrating the death of a father and a good man just because he happened to say some things that they don't like. And the irony about that is that most of the people who are criticizing Charlie Kirk have absolutely no idea about the opinions he actually held, because they won't take the time
100%.
to listen to what he had to say because, oh no, he's such a bad racist man. How can you make these claims if you've never actually listened to the guy? Despite the fact that liberalism...
I wasn't like a watch everything Charlie Kirk did when he was alive. Now I wish I had been a little more closely following him, because then maybe I would have been encouraged to go to a TPUSA event and maybe could have met him, because he seemed like a really genuine, awesome dude, especially if you could have the opportunity to meet him and have a conversation, a good faith debate with him. But, everything I have seen since he was assassinated has shown me what a good human he was. He was just a good individual who had best intentions for everyone he spoke to, everyone he talked to. No matter which side of the aisle you leaned toward, you acted on, he was there, agreeing, encouraging, or even trying to encourage you to broaden your thinking. If he's like, you are because a lot of people who went up and talked to him had the super narrow view, and they had like almost nothing there, and he's like, you gotta open up. You gotta have this wider view of everything. You can't just be shoehorned into this little tiny box.
And leftism does have a lot of power still in institutions and organizations. I do believe that it is a movement that, as it stands in its current form, completely deserves to perish. It is a movement that
100%.
casts blame and points fingers at
The left
everybody else,
the left
while
movement needs to die.
simultaneously not holding itself to the same standards. And I'm gonna be honest, it's quite a pleasure to watch its downfall. In the end,
Yes,
I
it
am not
is.
saying that this is some massive, complete and total win for the right. I'm not saying that it's a massive and complete and total win for Republicans, but I do think that it is a step in the right direction. I think that people who are currently leaving the left are doing something that's very courageous. I think that they are stepping into a place where they can have conversations and be open to debate, and where things can get less polarizing. And As far as I'm concerned, that's a good thing. So to the people who are finding themselves in the last little while a little bit more open-minded to the people who are leaving the left, my support is with you. Finding your own voice and your own position on issues in a time where everything is polarized and during a time where the left attacks you and calls you a traitor and name calls you for questioning them and the many things that they think and feel, that is not an easy thing to do, and I have a lot of respect for it. Now on that note, and before I open the floor to all of you, this is just a reminder to check out Fume using the link in the description. They've been a—
Or don't do that, because that's inhaling essential oils, and that's not good for your lungs any more than the habit it's trying to replace is. But anyway, subscribe to Sydney, subscribe to me. I'm going to end this video here because I've been recording for almost a full hour now, and this video I reacted to was only a half hour, so you can call me a react guy, you can call me a slop tuber, but you can't say I don't add anything to my videos I watch. Have a good day, and I'll see you in the next one.
long time